The body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been returned to her family more than 2 weeks after she was found dead in the trunk of a car registered to singer David.
Allegedly, the mother of Celeste said that she had a boyfriend named David. We know that they said that they had matching tattoos, shush, on their index finger. He posted about a girl named Celeste. There's a lot of things going on there, that there's a connection between the both of them.
Internet sleuths have also been hard at work digging up unverified videos and photos of Burke, with a young woman bearing a strong resemblance to Rivas, many times with her face partially covered. Confirmed photos of Rivas were circulating on missing posters in 2024.
One of his songs is called Romantic Homicide, and in it, he says, "I killed her in my mind." There is a music video where he is drenched in blood, dragging the body and putting it in the trunk.
It's the question on almost everyone's mind. How has he not been arrested yet? On September 8th, the remains of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez were discovered in the front trunk of a Rising Stars Tesla. Tonight, we will go over what we know so far and why there hasn't been an arrest. Hi, I'm Katie Ring, true crime analyst, self-defense instructor, and fierce advocate for victims. And this is Crime House Daily, your weekday true crime companion, a Crime House original powered by Pave Studios. We follow the cases making headlines now, where justice is still unfolding. This is a Night Watch episode bringing you today's biggest crime stories. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Crime House Daily so you never miss an episode. This episode discusses active criminal cases and breaking news. The information we share is based on what's publicly available at the time of recording and may change as new evidence comes to light. We aim to inform, not to decide guilt or innocence, so everyone mentioned is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Tonight, we're covering the tragic case of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who vanished from her home in Lake Elsinore, California, only to be found more than a year later dismembered and hidden inside the trunk of an abandoned Tesla in the Hollywood Hills. The car was registered to rising music star David Burke, or as you may know him, David spelled D4vd. Since his alleged connections to the victim have come out, he has canceled his tour, and mounting online scrutiny has fueled speculation. But as of this recording, there have been no charges. Although we will be discussing a lot of alleged connections between the singer and the victim, I want to again note that no formal charges have been filed against him. And although he has not been listed as a suspect, police did execute a search warrant on September 17th and confiscated a laptop and some other electronic devices. They also sent in a team to look for blood. The LAPD recently made a statement saying, quote, "We know that the Tesla had been parked at the location from which it was towed for several weeks, so it was very likely Celeste Rivas Hernandez had been dead for several weeks prior to her body being discovered. Celeste's body has also now been returned to her family. With more details coming out every day, we'll break it all down for you." Tonight, we're covering a case that's been all over the news and that we've been keeping a really close eye on here at Crime House. The murder of a teenage girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who was found dead in a vehicle registered to 20-year-old David Anthony Burke, a singer and songwriter you may know as David spelled D4vd. The case is moving fast, and new updates are coming in every day. TMZ obtained footage from a liquor store in California that shows Celeste jogging down the street on March 19th, 2024 at 7 a.m. Her family has confirmed it was Celeste because her sister went into the store that day asking for the footage to see if Celeste had run away. Let's get into what we know as of this recording. On September 6th, 2025, an abandoned Tesla was reported in the upscale bird streets of the Hollywood Hills in California. Witness reports differ in how long the car had been sitting there. Some said it had been on the street for at least 3 days, but one neighbor said it had been abandoned on the block for weeks. Another unnamed resident found the car's presence strange and unsettling. It seemed out of place with Texas license plates and a giant dent on the side. And on September 6th, someone finally called to have it towed, and it was taken to an impound lot nearby called Hollywood Tow. The car is registered to the singer David, who at the time was on tour. But aside from having been abandoned, there doesn't seem to be anything suspicious about the car. But everything changed 2 days later on Monday, September 8th, when an employee reported to police that there was a foul smell coming from the Tesla. And while no one wants to jump to conclusions, the smell is so pungent that the employees suspect it could be a body. When officers arrive, they open the front trunk and find a plastic trash bag inside. When they open the bag, they're hit with a distinct foul smell of decomp, and their worst suspicions are confirmed. Inside that bag is a dismembered body of a teenage girl. The body is so badly decomposed that investigators can't initially identify her. This means the police only have a few pieces of data to work with. They know the girl is wearing leggings and a tube top, along with stud earrings and a yellow chain bracelet. They also know that she has dark, wavy hair, and she is 5'2" and weighed just 71 pounds. She also has a tattoo on her right index finger that says, "Shh." That's S with 3 H's after it. The authorities release this information and ask for help identifying the girl. And it's not long before her mother sees the tattoo and realizes that it's her daughter. 9 days after the body was discovered on September 17th, she's officially identified as 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a girl who had been reported missing by her parents over a year earlier on April 5th, 2024. She was last seen near her home in Lake Elsinore, California, which is over 75 miles from where her body was found. We don't know much about her family life, although we know she had a brother and a sister. You may have heard some outlets refer to her as a 15-year-old, but her body was discovered the day after her 15th birthday, and the state of her body clearly showed she had been killed before she made it to 15. People who knew Celeste described her as studious, hardworking, and smart. A local shop owner whose store is near her home recalls her as being shy and sweet. But there were also signs that underneath this quiet, bright exterior, there was trouble in her life. Celeste was first reported missing on Valentine's Day 2024 when she was just 13 years old. People in her neighborhood remembered signs going up with her face on them. She was eventually found and returned home, but it wouldn't be long before she disappeared again. As of this recording, it's not known how many times Celeste was reported missing from her home in Lake Elsinore, or how many times she was brought back. However, what is known is that on Friday, April 5th, 2024, Celeste left her house in gray pants, a black sweater, and Hello Kitty sandals, and was reported missing for over a year. Again, as of this recording, authorities have not confirmed where Celeste went or what she did during that time, or even who she was with. But people have come forward with alleged evidence that the two were in a relationship. Tragically, we don't know how she ended up dead inside the trunk of that car. But we do know one thing. Her mother shared something with the press that is bone-chilling. Celeste had a boyfriend named David. By the time Celeste's body is officially identified, the media has already reported that the Tesla belonged to the singer, David. And around midnight on September 17th, police executed a search warrant on an address where David had been living, which was located only 500 feet from where the Tesla was found. Officers are seen carrying out a computer and other electronics, and police sources say they were looking for blood evidence. When the news comes out about Celeste, David cancels the remaining dates on his tour, and his team has made a statement that he is fully cooperating with investigators. But reporters and internet sleuths alike start digging into any possible connections between Celeste and David. One of the first things internet sleuths notice is that David and Celeste had matching tattoos on their fingers. However, this is a fairly common tattoo that Rihanna made popular. But that was only the beginning of their alleged connection. David Burke is a 20-year-old singer and songwriter who got popular for his dark romantic music. His music career began when he was a teenager through his love of video games. David really liked playing Fortnite and would create YouTube montages of the game set to popular songs. but they kept getting taken down for copyright infringement. In an interview, David said that he had complained to his mom about his videos being taken down for copyright strikes, and she tells David to just make his own music. And that's what he did. David watches videos on how to produce your own music and starts recording music in his sister's closet. In addition to putting his songs over gameplay montages, David starts posting them on TikTok, and it wasn't long before the posts went viral. Still, David was slow to reveal who he really was to the world, and he didn't show his face in the videos. Meanwhile, his music made its way into the mainstream, and one of his songs peaked at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Coincidentally, the name of that track is Romantic Homicide. David then releases the music video for his song on September 7th, 2022, which internet sleuths have pieced together as Celeste Rivas Hernandez's 12th birthday. In this video, David plays a character he calls Itami, which is the Japanese word for pain. David says the character is his alter ego who is committing murders that real-life David has to solve, a sort of Jekyll and Hyde plot. According to a recent TikTok live, someone said that Celeste and David had met when she was even younger while playing Fortnite. And eventually, they brought the conversation to Discord, which is a popular communication app. Again, none of this information has been officially verified as of this recording. But about 6 weeks after Romantic Homicide was posted, on October 23, 2022, there is a screenshot of a comment from David's Discord, where his username writes, "Celeste in here?" and someone with the username Celeste responds, "Hi, David Burke." But at this point in time, nobody was raising any alarm bells, and David's star continued to rise. In 2023, 18-year-old David performs his first concerts, which are part of a 6-city tour. He had signed with Darkroom Interscope and had dropped his first EP, Petals to Thorns. Around the same time, he gets a gig opening for SZA on her blockbuster SOS tour. Then in September 2023, just one day after Celeste's 13th birthday, David posts another video for a song called Rehab. The Itami character makes another appearance, and in this one, Itami's murderous alter ego appears in animated form to commit atrocities like cutting off a woman's arm, while David sings "She Fell in Love with the Devil Again." There's so much interest in his music that in December 2023, some of David's alleged music is leaked, and one song is called Celeste. Some of the lyrics read, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed." And a few weeks later, Celeste appears with David in a live stream in January 2024, which has been confirmed by moderators, but they claim that they didn't know how old she was. For the record, she was only 13 at this time, while David was 18. Then on February 7th, 2024, David posts a TikTok saying, "When your card declines at therapy and they bring in that one Hello Kitty girl you met in 2021. This is not confirmed to be about Celeste, but Celeste was obsessed with Hello Kitty. And remember when she was reported missing, she was wearing Hello Kitty sandals. A week later, on Valentine's Day, Celeste goes missing for the first time, but is later returned home. And at the end of the month, on February 26th, a user comments on one of David's posts, writing, "Waiting for the LAPD to get your for messing with a 13-year-old girl." The rumor mill is in full swing by this point. Another month after that, on March 28th, David's fans discuss whether he is dating someone, and a user comments, "Yeah, her name is Celeste." An image of David in Celeste's hometown of Lake Elsinore has also surfaced and been confirmed by TMZ. In the photo, David is shown with 2 kids. One of them is holding a bag, which added even more suspicion to rumors that David was paying kids off to keep his secret. Though it's worth saying here that this has not been confirmed by law enforcement at the time of this recording. But one thing is confirmed. On April 5th, 2024, 13-year-old Celeste is reported missing again, and her brother says she was going to the movies to meet up with David. On April 6th, the day after Celeste is reported missing, David posts a photo of him crying, with the caption, "Never being able to express my feelings properly because I was homeschooled and had no social life for 5 years. Throughout all of this, David is releasing more music and videos. And in August 2024, one user on David's Discord server comments, "Drop the one with the missing girl Celeste Rivas Hernandez." But nobody is officially looking into David in connection with her disappearance. And in February 2025, he releases another music video starring the Autopsy character once again, called One More Dance. This one shows Autopsy dragging a body into the trunk of a car. Shortly after, in April, David drops his next album called Withered. It's a hit, and David goes on tour to promote it starting on August 5th, 2025. It's worth noting that despite Celeste being reported missing, she was allegedly still in contact with some of her friends throughout this time, and some of them have come forward saying August was the last time any of them heard from her. But it's not clear if anyone knew exactly where she was, so officially she was still missing. But the next month, her body is discovered in David's Tesla. There's so much we don't know about this actively unfolding case, but right now everyone seems to be asking two major questions. If David was on tour when Celeste was found, who had access to the car? And when were they using it? On September 23, 2025, 2 weeks after 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was discovered in the trunk of an abandoned Tesla, her remains were returned to her family. During this time, intense speculation swirled around her final days, her cause of death, and her connection to the car's owner, multi-platinum recording artist David. Based on the state of her remains, she had likely been dead for a while before her body was discovered. But it's hard to make any determinations beyond that because the car she was found in may have been abandoned for a number of weeks. The question we are now left wondering is if that was before David left for his tour or after. It's important to note that the car was never reported stolen. However, that's not necessarily a surprise given how long a touring schedule can take someone out of town. So it's possible that someone took it after David left. With all of the speculation around David's connection to Celeste and the fact that a dead body was found in his car, a lot of people are questioning why hasn't he been arrested yet? One issue they are facing is the cause of death, because the medical examiner is having trouble determining an exact one and has listed it as deferred, which means that they need more information to determine an exact cause of death. My thoughts on the delay are probably the state of her decomposition and also waiting on toxicology reports. At the time of this recording, it has still not been listed, and apparently it could be months until we have an answer. These findings could be crucial to the investigation because it could help point to a murder weapon or discover if Celeste had been drugged or incapacitated. If the toxicology report does show that something was in her system, they'd be able to determine when Celeste had taken it, which could help determine when she was killed. With all of this going on, David's career has been essentially put on hold. All upcoming dates for his new album tour have been canceled on his website, and a number of companies he promoted, like Crocs and Hollister, have quietly dropped him from their campaigns. A deluxe edition of his Withered album that was due to be released on September 19th has been shelved too. Although the album artwork, which features drawings of 3 people frolicking on the beach, with a cartoon sketch of David standing sharply in the foreground, is still up on his Instagram. Meanwhile, Celeste's friends and family are doing the best they can to cope with her death. On September 21st, mourners in her hometown of Lake Elsinore held an impromptu vigil. Her family couldn't be reached for comment and didn't attend, but friends, acquaintances, former teachers, and folks who simply recognized her from the neighborhood gathered to share stories of someone they remembered as a quiet, sweet girl. Intermingled with the sadness was a call for the person who killed her to be found and brought to justice. As of this recording, the only official statement from Celeste's family is on a GoFundMe page. It says, quote, "As many of you know, Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been identified as the body found last week. She was a beloved daughter, sister, cousin, and friend. Her family is heartbroken and devastated by this tragic loss. As of this recording, we know that an address in the Hollywood Hills that David had been living at has been searched by the police, and that a laptop was secured from the premises. Police were looking for blood evidence that might implicate David or someone else in the crime, but it's not clear if they have found anything yet. Right now, internet sleuths are still dissecting David's heavy online presence and finding ways to connect him to Celeste. The New York Post reported that a girl wearing Hello Kitty Crocs was often seen in the background of David's posts or videos. And as we know, Celeste was reportedly last seen wearing Hello Kitty sandals. Many internet sleuths thought Celeste could have potentially been pregnant after a screenshot of one of David's alleged Discord comments was leaked that said, "Me and @deleteduser have a kid OTW," which means on the way. Because when they clicked on the deleted user, it showed a photo of a hand with a red tattoo with David's name on it, and it had a diamond ring on her ring finger. But police have announced that Celeste was not pregnant at the time of her death. This is definitely a case we'll continue to keep an eye on, so as always, we'll be bringing you all the major updates here. What did you think of tonight's case? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments. See you next time. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel @Crimehouse Daily and follow us on social media @Crimehouse247 for real-time updates, because the pursuit of justice never stops.